Have you ever wondered what's really running the show? I mean, inside your body, right now. Well, you have the most amazing, most complex network you can imagine, and it's called your nervous system. It's the wiring that powers literally every single thing you do. So yeah, what is controlling your every move, every thought, every feeling? It's not magic. It's an incredible system of tiny cells all working together at lightning speed. Deciding to blink? That's your nervous system. Your heart beating without you even thinking about it? Yup, that's it too. It's the boss of everything. Okay, so first, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Think of your nervous system like a giant company, with a CEO, managers, and workers all doing their jobs perfectly. And this is what it looks like. It's basically your body's own private electrical grid. It's always on, taking in information like, ouch, that's hot, and sending out commands like, move your hand, quick. It's the ultimate control and communication network, and it's all you. Now, this system has two main teams. First, you've got the central nervous system, or CNS. That's the headquarters, the main office, just your brain and your spinal cord. Then you have the second team, the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. These are all the other nerves branching out, like delivery drivers all over your body. They bring messages to the headquarters and carry orders from it. For you to do anything, these two teams have to work together perfectly. So, how do these messages actually get sent? To get that, we need to zoom in. Way, way in. It's time to meet the absolute star of the show, the mighty neuron. And here it is, the neuron. This is the special cell that does all the work. It's a messenger, a tiny computer, and it's built for one thing and one thing only: super fast communication. So how does a neuron listen for messages? With these cool, branchy things called dendrites. Think of them like the neuron's ears or its antennas. They're always listening, picking up signals from thousands of other neurons. And when the neuron decides it's time to send its own message, it sends an electrical signal down this super long tail called an axon. The axon is the transmitter, the part that shouts the message to the next neuron in line. Now, you want that signal to travel fast, right? Well, that's where the myelin sheath comes in. It's this fatty layer wrapped around the axon. You know the plastic coating on a wire? It's just like that. It's insulation. It stops the electrical signal from getting weak and lets it travel, zoom, incredibly fast. Okay, so we've got an insulated wire, but what is the signal? What's the spark? It's called an action potential, and it's the secret sauce to how our whole nervous system talks. Whoa, okay, I know. This graph looks a little scary. You see all these fancy words and this big spike that happens in milliseconds, but don't worry about it. I promise the idea behind this is actually super simple. Forget the sciencey graph. Let's think about something fun. You ever seen the wave at a football game or a concert, where one section stands up and sits down and then the next and the next? That's it. That's an action potential. Check this out. First, everyone in the stadium is sitting down. The neuron is just chillin' in its resting state. Then, someone starts the wave. That's our trigger. A little door opens and a bunch of sodium ions rush in. That's the first section of fans standing up. That's called depolarization. That makes the next section stand up, and right after, the first section sits back down as potassium ions rush out. And the wave just keeps on going all the way down the axon. Stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. And here's a really important rule. It's all or none. You can't really do a half wave, right? You either do a full, proper wave or you don't do one at all. It's the same for a neuron. The signal is always the same strength. A stronger feeling doesn't mean a bigger wave. It just means you do more waves faster. So the wave makes it all the way to the end of the axon, but we have a problem. The neurons don't actually touch each other. There's a teeny tiny gap. So how does the signal get across? It has to make a jump. This special meeting point is called the synapse, and that tiny space is the synaptic cleft. The electrical wave can't just leap across the gap, so it has to transform into a whole new kind of message. And how does it do that? With chemical messengers. They're called neurotransmitters. Think of them as little messages in a bottle. When the electrical wave hits the end of the line, it tells the neuron to release these chemicals into that tiny gap. And the process is just beautiful. Step 1, the wave arrives. Step 2, this tells tiny bubbles full of neurotransmitters to pop open and release their chemical messages. Step 3, those little chemicals float across the gap and lock into the next neuron, telling it to either start its own wave or to stay quiet. And just like that, the message is passed on.
Okay, we went from the huge electrical grid of your body all the way down to a tiny chemical message in a bottle. Now let's zoom back out and see how all these little sparks create, well, everything you know.
You want to see the whole system in action? Think about a reflex, like when a doctor taps your knee. A sensor in your skin feels the tap. A neuron sends a super fast wave to your spinal cord. There, it passes the message to another neuron that goes right back to your leg muscle and tells it to kick. It's so fast, your brain doesn't even know it happened until after your leg has already moved. It's an automatic safety superhighway. But when you do get the brain involved, the big boss of the central nervous system, that's when things get really amazing. This thing right here, your memories, your dreams, your personality, it's all just billions of those neurons we talked about, firing off their little sparks and passing messages across trillions of synapses.
So think about that. Every single thing you see, every song you hear, every idea you have, it's just a pattern of these tiny electrical sparks. Your entire reality is being built, right now, by billions of these little waves. So, what does that make you? Pretty incredible, if you ask me. Thanks for tuning in.